first and foremost, I think we need to back out from what politicians are saying. Politicians make hay of any situation. The facts are the facts, and I'm going to take you down and kind of analyze exactly what the facts say. First and foremost, in 2014, which is when the Jonathan administration left, the last year of the administration, the GDP was at its highest point in dollar terms, $568 billion. The GDP figures today are somewhere between $368 and $400 billion in dollar terms. But the interesting thing is that why did this happen? It was because of the exchange rate adjustment. In Naira terms, GDP in 2014 was 90 trillion Naira. The GDP today in Naira terms is 119 trillion Naira. So in fact, in Naira terms, the GDP is much better than what it was in 2012 facts. Two, the recession started manifesting itself in 2015, 2016. That's when we had 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. But the recessionary gap started as far back as 2011, where potential GDP was higher than GDP rates. 1. 2, in the 3 years, 2011 to 2014, the average price of oil was $106 a barrel, while in 3 years, 2014, 2015, and 2016, the average price of oil was $50, less than half, about almost 40% of the price. In the meantime, average production in the 3 years, the last 3 years of the Jonathan administration, average oil production was 2.01 million barrels a day. The average oil production in the 2 years of the Buhari administration has been 1.5 million barrels a day. The net effect was that there was a gap created, an external imbalance gap, because the Buhari administration was operating with 40 to 45% of the revenue profile of the previous administration, right? Now, inflation in 2014 fell as low as, by the EIU, 8%, but 9.6%. Inflation rose in 2016 to 18.6%, but it is now down to 16%. But more than anything else, the external reserve, which is what you put aside for savings, the external reserves in 2011 was $32 billion. In 2012, it went up to $44 billion. And then the decline started from 2012 under the Jonathan administration till it got to as low as $23 billion. The excess crude account was as high as $22 billion. It came down to $2 billion. And the parallel market was 164 in 2011, 158 in 2012, 191 in 2014. And it dropped to as low as 520 in 2016 and has recovered to 580. Today, the external reserves have recovered to $31.36 billion, as high as it was in 2011. So if you have to look at it in a nutshell, inflation was single digit, agreed, it went up to double digit and has improved. The parallel market crashed because of the price of oil and the production. The external reserves, which is the figure that you use, the external reserves depleted by almost 50% under the Jonathan administration to as low as $23 billion before coming back up to now it's up to $31.36 billion. And in any case, the recessionary gap, which started before it manifested in 2016, all things being equal, the rate of growth has started reducing. That is the negative growth rate. There's an expansion in economic activity. So it's not a picture of you fail or you pass. It is a question. The picture is the fact that the economy is on the mend after deteriorating. Most of the deterioration actually happened. The slide started well before the Buhari administration came in, but they did not take steps fast enough to arrest the slide. The slide couldn't have been as bad as it was, but they've recovered it, and now we are on the mend, and I think things are much better.
Stay with us.